Okay, one part of the inclusion students being inclusion students being in your classroom. One part that's going to fall into that is the Public Law 94-142. It's an act that was put into place to protect those with learning disabilities. So it's known as the IDEA, and it's the U.S. federal legislation granting educational rights from birth into age 21 for people with cognitive, emotional, or physical disabilities. Now, you notice it says rights from birth. So technically, whatever county, if a child is born with a special need, then when they're born, they actually become eligible to be serviced by the county in which they live in as soon as they're born, if there's issues that are found. So a lot of people don't know that. They wait until, for instance, with the speech, they wait until they get into school in kindergarten, and then they spend most of their day out in speech during the kindergarten year, and then they miss a lot of the good stuff. Well, what the PL 94-142 says, it guarantees several rights of free and appropriate education, fair and no discriminatory evaluations, education in the least restrictive environment, so that's where inclusion came about being. They have an individualized educational program, an IEP, that's developed by many folks within the building, professionals. Within the building, and due process. I'm sure you're learning a lot about PL 94-142 in your special ed class, so I don't spend a lot of time on it for that reason, but just a few things that I wanted you to know. More teachers are realizing that truly inclusive practices require differentiated instruction for all students, not just those with the formally identified needs. So, when I think about having inclusion students in the last 3 years, that's what my classroom was. I took all the low ability groups children, which meant there were students with active IEP plans, and then there were low students in there that had not qualified for special ed. But what I found to be true, you have an aide that comes in during part of the day to give you some assistance with certain students sometimes, and that aide was not only servicing the students with the special needs. She was there and would help other students as well, so I like that. We should be differentiating instruction anyway, because regardless, even if you're in a top class where everybody is above average, considered above average, you should still be differentiating the instruction, because there's still going to be levels even within that group. So rather than provide specialized instructions in a separate classroom, many special education teachers now partner with regular classroom teachers to jointly teach all students, both those with disabilities and those without, during part of all of the school day. As much as those students can be brought to the regular classroom, it is encouraged for them to do so. I've thoroughly enjoyed the special needs kids that I have had. Several went on field trips with us. They at least attended special classes, music, guidance, PE, even on the worst case scenario, they usually join my class for that, and lunch. And I love that they're in a regular classroom. If I had a student with a special need, I would want them in the least restrictive environment as well, where they're getting the best education possible. So there's a video about the PL 94-142 to kind of give you a view of what it used to be like versus what it is now. And then I wanted to share a piece with you of a young man. It's a special time is what I labeled this, who faces disability, and you're going to see. I'll leave it at that. Respond to the video. Either one of those will be fine. Just give me a quick shout out to let me know what you think.